Yes, yes, yes. What's up? It's your boy Two Flake Show. We out here. Excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, it's a great day. We're almost at the end of Feb, and I need to know how's your year going? How's 2025 going? Many people feel like it's not so good, but I feel like it's only gonna get better. Yeah, great things ahead. Keep that focus, keep that determination, and keep pushing on. Two Fleek Show. Right now, I'm ready to react to some Trump news. So let's look at it together. Yeah. So Trump has some strong words for Zelensky.
We're hearing that Russia wants to force Ukraine to hold new elections in order to sign any kind of a peace deal. Is that something that the U.S. would ever support?
Well, we have a situation where we haven't had elections in Ukraine, where we have martial law, essentially martial law in Ukraine, where the leader in Ukraine, I mean, I hate to say it, but he's down at 4% approval rating, and where a country has been blown to smithereens. You got most of the cities are laying on their sides. The buildings are collapsed. It
What
looks
do
like
you
a
guys think
massive
about this?
demolition
Should the
site.
Ukraine
The
come to the
whole,
party
so
and
many of the cities. I mean, they
and
haven't done it in Kiev because I guess they
find
don't want to
peace,
shoot too many
or
rockets in there. They've done it
should they
20%,
continue
but they haven't done it
their
100%.
fight?
If they wanted to
Because
do
it
it
is
100%,
a
it would probably happen
sort
very
of
quickly. But you have cities that are
reaction fight. They
absolutely
are
devastated.
defending their nation
And yeah,
because
I would say that, if they
apparently
want
they
a seat
were
at the table, you could
once
say the
attacked
people have to,
based on the
the
evidence
people of
that
Ukraine have to say, like,
the news has
it's been
said.
a long time since we've had an
So let's
election.
hope that
That's
peace
not a
can be
Russia thing.
resolved
That's
soon
something
so
coming
that
from
people
me and
stop
coming from
dying.
many other countries
That's the
also.
main thing we want to see is
Ukraine is
peace.
being
And
just
hopefully it
wiped
can
out.
be achieved.
Look at what's happening to
Hopefully.
the cities. That
It's tough,
cities.
but
There's not even a
I'm
building
sure it
standing. It's
can.
a massive. It's you talk about Gaza. I mean, it's literally these cities look like Gaza. Actually, many have percentage-wise more buildings knocked down than in Gaza. So, people are tired of it. People want to see something happen. And, the other thing that it's been bothering me for a long time because I solved the problem with NATO. They paid hundreds of billions of dollars into the funds of NATO when I said you got to pay because the United States was paying for European countries and then they take advantage of us on trade. But I've seen it. Look, they have to pay. They have to find out where's the money going to. We have, I believe, President Zelensky said last week that he doesn't know where half of the money is that we gave him. Well, we gave them, I believe, $350 billion, but let's say it's something less than that, but it's a lot. And we have to equalize with Europe because Europe has given a very much smaller percentage than that. I think Europe has given 100 billion, and we've given, let's say, 300 plus. And it's more important for them than it is for us. We have an ocean in between, and they don't. But where is all the money that's been given? Where is it going? And I've never seen an accounting of it. We give hundreds of billions of dollars. I don't see any accounting. So I want to see peace. Look, you know why I want? Because I don't want all these people killed anymore. I'm looking at people that are being killed, and they're Russian and Ukrainian people, but they're people. Doesn't matter where they're from on the whole planet. And I think I have the power to end this war. And I think it's going very well. But today I heard, well, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I could have made a deal for Ukraine that would have given them almost all of the land, everything, almost all of the land, and no people would have been killed, and no city would have been demolished, and not one dome would have been knocked down. But they chose not to do it that way. And President Biden, in all fairness, he doesn't have a clue. What he was so bad for this. It was so bad, so pathetic, so sad.
Trump is
But with all of that being
crazy.
said, look, it is what it is. When I left, there was no chance that this could have happened. But it happened because we had incompetent leadership at many different levels.
So what are you guys' thoughts on Trump? Like when he says this stuff, I personally believe he says it to get a reaction. He's saying it to get people to come to the table and have a conversation. What are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Chat, talk to me. Okay, let's have a look at some other news. Trump and Elon. This was an interesting one because the both of them were interviewed together, and it's quite interesting to see. Is it this one?
I've got to start with this. So he's working for free with Doge. He's kind of put a lot of his life on hold. And you sued Twitter a number of years ago. You just made him pay you $10 million?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.
Well,
That's
I
right.
sued from long before he had it.
Yeah.
Trump
And,
sued
they
Twitter,
really, did a number.
and
on me,
Elon
you
had to
know.
pay
I
$10
sued
million.
them, they had to pay, they paid $10 million.
Wow.
You're okay with that?
I mean, I left it up to the lawyers and you know the team running Twitter. So I said, you guys do what you think is the right. It makes sense.
I think it's fun.
I think it's a very low. I was looking to get much more money than that.
So you gave him a discount in the lawsuit.
He got a he got a big discount. I don't think he even knows about it.
He's become
Yeah.
one of your, if you read and believe the media, he's become one of your best friends. He's working for free for you.
Well, I love the president. I just want to be clear about that.
You don't care about that.
I know. I love the president.
You love the president.
I think President Trump is a good man, and he's, you know.
It's nice the way he said that. You know, there's something nice about it.
Really is. You know, because I mean, the president's been so unfairly attacked in the media. It's really outrageous. And I've at this point spent a lot of time with the president, and not once have I seen him do something that was mean or cruel or wrong. Not once.
You know, I've known him for 30 years.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anybody take as much as he's taken.
Yeah.
And we've discussed this, and I'm like, how do you deal with it?
Did I have a choice?
Well, you would say that to me. I'm like, what am I going to do? Worry about it? And, you know, and then culminating in 2 assassination attempts, which resulted in your endorsement.
Well, I was going to do it anyway, but that was
it.
precipitating event. Yes.
That speeded it up a little bit.
Yeah.
The day of the
I
assassination.
didn't know that.
Yeah. It sped it up, but I was going to do it anyway.
Mr. President, with your indulgence, I'm convinced that people only know a little bit about Elon. I don't think they know everything about Elon because as I studied and prepared for this interview, I learned a lot about you that I didn't know. I think people will think about Tesla. Democrats are demonizing you and trying to make the country hate you. I just want people to understand you a little bit better and the person that you've gotten to know and have now put a lot of trust in.
Sure.
And, you know, just let's go over a little bit of your bio, starting with PayPal and how you became involved in Tesla and SpaceX and Neuralink and all these.
Take a while. I mean, you know, I think the way to think of me is like I'm a technologist, and I try to make technologies that improve the world and make life better.
Your shirt.
Yeah, and that's why I like my T-shirt says tech support because I'm here to provide the president with technology
Tech support.
And now that may seem like, well, is that a silly thing?
I think in South Africa we need some tech support. What do you guys think? Hit me up in the comments.
Very sensible and good for the country, but then they don't get implemented. You know, so. If you take, for example, all the funding for the migrant hotels, the president issued an executive order where, hey, we need to stop taking taxpayer money and paying for luxury hotels for illegal immigrants, which makes no sense. Like, so obviously, people do not want their tax dollars going to fund high-end hotels for illegals, and yet they were still doing that even as late as last week. And so, you know, we went in there and we're like, this is in violation of the presidential executive order. It needs to stop. So, So what we're doing here is one of the biggest functions of the Doge team is just making sure that the presidential executive orders are actually carried out. And this is, I just want to point out, this is a very important thing because the president is the elected representative of the people. So he's representing the will of the people. And if the bureaucracy is fighting the will of the people and preventing the president from implementing what the people want, then what we live in is a bureaucracy and not a democracy.
No. You're both aware, you have to be keenly aware that the media and the punditry class, not that, you know, I think you've proven they have no power anymore because they threw everything they had at you and they didn't win. And that was, you know, the New York Times, Washington Post, 3 networks, every late night comedy show, 2 cable channels. They just threw everything, lawfare, weaponization.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, oh, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't. They have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, you know, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. You know, they said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, it's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
And at the end of this interview, what I would like is I want people to know the relationship and know more about you. What is the relationship, Mr. President?
Well, I respect him. I've always respected him. I never knew that he was right on certain things, and I'm usually pretty good at this stuff. He did Starlink. He did things that were so advanced and nobody knew what the hell they were. I can tell you in North Carolina, they had no communication. They were wiped out. Those people were, you know, they had rivers in between. Land that never saw water, all of a sudden it was a river and a vicious, like rapids. People were dying all over. They had no communication. They said, do you know Elon Musk? They didn't really know I knew him. I said, yeah. He said, could you get Starlink? It's like the first time I ever heard of it. I said, what's Starlink? A communication system. That's unbelievable.
I have it.
Yeah, and he said, I called him and I said, listen, they really need it. And he got like thousands of units of this communication, and it saved a lot of lives. He got it immediately, and you can't get it. I mean, you have to wait a long time to get it. But he got it to him immediately, and I said, that's pretty amazing, and I didn't even know he had it. We watched the rocket ships, and we watch Tesla. I think, you know, something that had an effect on me was when I saw the rocket ship come back and get grabbed, like you grab a beautiful little baby. You grab your baby. It just...
Hug the rocket.
I've never seen...
Right, everything needs a hug and clean rockets. You know?
No, but... And he said, you know, you can't really have a rocket program if you're going to dump $1 billion into the ocean every time you fly. You have to save it.
Right.
And he saved it. First time that I've ever seen that done. Now, nobody else can do it. If you look at the U.S., Russia, or China, they can't do it. And they won't be able to do it for a long time. He has the technology. So you learn... I wanted somebody really smart to work with me in terms of the country, a very important aspect. Because, I mean, he doesn't talk about it. He's actually a very
This is really
business guy.
interesting.
And when he talks about
Because
the
Elon
executive
does so
orders,
much
this
good,
is probably true for all
but
presidents.
people will talk about
You
the
write an
few
executive
bad
order,
that he
you think
does.
it's done. You send it
And
out.
don't
It
get
doesn't
me
get
wrong.
done. It doesn't get implemented. They don't implement
I'm not
it.
here trying to
Maybe
defend
they're
him.
from the last
I'm just
administration,
speaking
and
on the
there are
good
some
stuff,
cases
which is
you try and get them out as
rockets.
fast as you can. But I
mean, to get the
as soon as he
rockets to
said that,
come
I said,
back
you know,
from
that's
space
interesting.
and
You write a
get
beautiful
caught
executive, and you sign
and
it, and you
saved.
assume it's going to
Wow.
be done, but it's not. What he does is he takes it, and with
That's
his 100
exceptional.
geniuses,
That's
he's got some very
truly amazing.
brilliant young people working for him that dress Much worse than him, actually.
Yeah,
They dress
better.
in just T-shirts. You wouldn't know they have 180 IQ.
Wait a minute. So what he's your tech support.
No, he is.
I actually
But
literally
he's
am
much
tech
more
support.
than that.
I
Yeah.
literally am tech support, though. But
But
that's
he gets it done. He's a leader.
Yeah.
He really is. He gets it done. You get a lot of tech people, and you have people they're good with tech, but he gets it done. You know, I said in real estate, you had guys that would draw beautiful renderings of a building, and they'd draw the rendering. It would be great, and you say, "Great, when are you starting?" But they were never able to get it built. They couldn't get the financing. They couldn't get the approvals. It would never get done. And then you have other guys that are able to get it done. You know, they could just get it done. That was in real estate. Same thing in this. He gets it done. So when he said that, he said, you know, when you sign these executive orders, a lot of them don't get done, and
Yeah.
maybe the most important ones. And he would take that executive order that I'd sign, and he would have those people go to whatever agency it was. When are you doing it? Get it done, get it done. And some guy that maybe didn't want to do it, all of a sudden, he's signing. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
Do a lot of those executive orders have to be codified into law? Do you need the Republican Congress
and
to
they will
follow
be.
up?
A lot of them will be. Yeah.
They
But
will.
look, in the meantime, we have 4 years. The beauty is we have 4 years. That's why I like doing it right at the beginning, because an executive order is great. I mean, the one problem, it's both good and bad, because when they did all these executive orders, I've canceled most of them. They were terrible. I mean, we're going to go radical left communist. Okay, it was crazy. Their
Really crazy.
executive orders were so bad. If they ever got them codified, you'd never be able to break them. So the damage that Biden has done to this country, and it's not even Biden, it's the people that circled him in the Oval Office, okay? But the damage they did to this country, in terms of, let's say, open borders, you know, there's so many things, but open borders, where millions of people poured into our country, and hundreds of thousands of those people are criminals. They're murderers, they're drug dealers, they're gang members, they're people from prisons from all over the world. And we have a great guy, Tom Homan, and he is doing so incredibly. You saw the numbers, they're now like 96%.
95%.
He is a phenomenal guy. And Kristi Noem is doing an unbelievable job. And he wanted her. He said, she's so tough. And I said, I don't think of her as that way. You know, she's very nice. He said, no, she's so tough. And she is. I see with the horses, she's riding the horse. Let's go. She's great. But the team we have is really unbelievable. But those executive orders, I sign them, and now they get passed on to him and his group and other people, and they're all getting done. We're getting them done.
Let me go back a little bit to your background, because
sure.
it's beyond impressive. You were the chief engineer, for example. You were an early believer in Tesla. You became the CEO, and then the chief engineer, which was phenomenal. SpaceX, same thing, which is unbelievable. I mean, you were the first private company to send astronauts successfully into space. First private company to send astronauts into orbit.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
He's going to go into orbit soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's going to go to Mars. He's gonna fly
Starlink?
on his-
At some point. Yeah.
Is in over.
I mean, they always ask me, like, do you want to die on Mars? And I say, well, yes, but not on impact.
Starlink is in 100 countries. This is going to be hard. I feel like I'm interviewing two brothers here.
You go ahead.
Star Shield, which could be used for national defense.
Yeah, it is already being used for national defense.
Then you have what is it called? Optimus, a part of Tesla.
The robot, yeah.
A robotic arm. Then you have an AI arm. And then you have something that really fascinated me, and it's called Neuralink.
Yes.
You might help the blind to see,
Yes.
and people with spinal cord injuries, that they can recover, where in the past, how close is that becoming a success?
Neuralink, we've implanted Neuralink in 3 patients so far who are quadriplegics, and it allows them to directly control their phone and computer just using their mind, just by thinking. It's like, so we call this product telepathy. So you control your computer and phone just by thinking, and it's possible to actually control the computer and phone faster than someone who has working hands. Then the next step would be to add a second Neuralink implant past the point where the neurons damaged, so that somebody can walk again, and so they can have full body functionality restored. And
you like Bobby, right?
I like Bobby, actually. Yeah, I think I supported Bobby Kennedy. I think he's unfairly maligned as someone who is anti-science, but I think he isn't. He just wants to question the science, which is the essence of the science, the scientific method fundamentally is about always questioning the science.
Well, they didn't tell us the truth about COVID.
Correct.
That's for sure.
Yes.
And we learned a lot with the Twitter files. And that just then raises a question. You're the richest man in the world. You may not like that part. You're pretty competitive.
It's neither here nor there.
I've
I
known
don't
you
know
a
if it
long time.
matters.
But,
That's why
but he's on your team.
president.
Well, that's true. He can't top that.
He's good. You know, I wanted to find somebody smarter than him. I searched all over. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
You,
I couldn't.
you really tried hard.
I couldn't find anyone smarter, right? So we had it for the country.
But this is the thing.
We settled on this
Well,
guy.
thanks for having me.
So,
I'm just trying to be
but
useful
this
here.
is the interesting. This is where we are as a society, and I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to do it anyway. You're doing all of these things. Doge. Nobody at Doge gets paid a penny, correct?
Well, actually, some people are federal employees.
Some are,
they do-
okay.
Yeah,
They're helping.
But it's fair to say that the software engineers at Doge could be earning millions of dollars a year, and instead of earning a small fraction of that as federal employees.
Okay, so just
And they're very committed people.
so
Yes.
you're committed to helping the blind see, people with spinal cord injuries recover.
Yes.
You're committed to getting to Mars. You're committed to rescue. You're going to help rescue next month 2 astronauts that I think were abandoned. They dispute that in an interview.
When are you
At the
getting them?
president's request, or instruction, we are accelerating the return of the astronauts, which was postponed, kind of to a ridiculous degree.
They got left in space.
They've been there. They were supposed to be there 8 days. They're there almost 300.
Biden.
They were
Yeah.
yes, they were left up there for political reasons, which is not good.
Okay, it's not good. Now, if I had the weight of the pressure of doing that successfully on my shoulders, I think I'd be, but when we spoke before we did this interview, you are very confident. You think this will be a successful mission.
Well, we don't want to be complacent, but we have brought astronauts back from the space station many times before, and always with success. So, as long as we're not complacent,
When are you going to launch?
I think it's about 4 weeks to bring them back.
About 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And
And
You
we're
have
being
the go-ahead.
extremely cautious. Yeah.
You now have the go-ahead.
Yes. Well, thanks to you.
They didn't have the go-ahead with Biden.
What's
He
that?
was going to leave him in space. I think he was going to leave him in space.
Well, it's like
He
when we
considered
were
it
growing
like-
up, lost in space.
Yeah, he didn't want the publicity. Can you believe it?
Unbelievable. And so
Yeah.
I want to echo something that the president said and then ask an overarching question. So people get hit with Hurricane Helene, they have no communication with the outside world. You come to the rescue, you donated that, I
Yes,
believe?
yes.
Okay. You donated to the people
He saved a lot of lives
in
in North Carolina. He saved a lot of lives.
and California after the wildfires?
California, but I mean in North Carolina where they were really in trouble, they had no communication. People were
Nothing.
dying. They were dying of starvation. He saved a lot of lives in North Carolina.
Okay, now you're going to rescue astronauts. And now, and again, you do all of this. I would think liberals would love the fact that you have the biggest electric vehicle company in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be adored by the left.
Yeah, not anymore.
Less so these
he
days.
killed that, huh?
I mean, less.
I really didn't.
Well, I mean, this whole sort of like, they call it like Trump derangement syndrome. And I didn't, you don't realize how real this is until like you can't reason with people. So like I was at a friend's birthday party in LA, just a birthday dinner, and it was like a nice, quiet dinner, and everyone was behaving normally. And then I happened to mention, this is before the election, like a month or two before, I happened to mention the president's name. And it was like they got shot with a dart in the jugular that contained like methamphetamine and rabies, okay? And they're like, wow! And I'm like, what is wrong? Guys, like, you just can't have like a normal conversation.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like they become completely irrational.
He has no idea, but if you're friends with him,
Yeah.
you pay a price. It's like I walk in a restaurant in New York and it's like half the room gets daggers and they want to.
No, the eye daggers level is insane.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like, I had like some invitation, because, so I got invited to like, basically a big sort of damn event, like, that was, but it received the invitation like the beginning of last year, and I still attended even after I'd endorsed President Trump. And I didn't realize how profoundly that would affect, how I was received. I mean, I walk into the room and I'm getting just the dirty looks from everyone. Like, if looks could kill, I would have been dead several times over.
But that was not before
It would be
Trump.
like those
BT,
ashes on the
well,
floor.
BT, before Trump, that never happened, right?
No.
That's crazy, yo. That's crazy. Elon out here trying to save lives, and people still hate him. That's crazy. Okay.
Laten we beginnen. Ik heb klotsende oksels.
Je moet gewoon weten waarvoor je het doet.
Ik weet niet tegen wie je dat zo denkt. Maar hey, Paat, wat ga je doen?
Stream Dream School, nu op NPO Start.
So we do have some breaking news we want to take you out to, as we are hearing from President Donald Trump releasing a statement on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. He posted to his Truth Social account, and this is a pretty lengthy quote, so we are going to pull it up 2 pieces at a time. So let's start with this. He is saying this again on the Ukrainian president, saying, quote, "Think of it, a modestly successful comedian, Volodymyr Zelensky, talked the United States of America into spending $350 billion to go into a war that couldn't be won, that never had to start, but a war that he, without the U.S. and Trump, will never be able to settle. The United States has spent $200 billion more than Europe, and Europe's money is guaranteed, while the United States will get nothing back. Why didn't sleep?"
Shannon, I'm not built like that to go kill no black man. I'm not built like that. I'm not designed like that. I'm not tough like that. I'm not ruthless like that. I'm not heartless like that. That's just not me. And my worst fear in the history of life, I don't give a how I die. I don't care what happened. But if a black man kill me, you're gonna hear my scream until life ends for everybody. You're gonna hear my pain. My tears is gonna flood the ghettos of America. I don't care about nothing else. But don't let me go out like that. So I said to myself, I ain't built like that. Well, I want you dead because I don't know. Listen, I don't know what happened that night, why it happened. Only thing I know is my brother got shot. He ran to my grandma's house. He opened the door. He died. I ain't built like that to see nobody else go out like that. I ain't built like that. I ain't cut like that, Shannon. I'm just not, I ain't designed like that. Just because you hurt Annie, I don't want to hurt your grandma. For what? If I hurt your grandma, when the shit won't stop.
It's a continuous cycle. You went viral when you broke into tears telling Lil Durk not to retaliate in King Von's death.
You know, it was so emotional because Durk, he said, I need you to come here, right? He said, we could do it in Miami, whatever, but I need you to come here because I need you to talk to these. That's what he told me. He said, I need you to talk to him, Wallo. I need you to talk to him. I said, all right, I got him. And when I get there, I didn't know it was going to be that many. It was like 100 of them. We in the basement in Chicago. It's 100 of them. They didn't even know why they was there. Dirk was like, we going to do it in the hood.
Okay.
I want you to holler at them, boom, boom, boom. So I'm like, I got you. So when I got there, I'm like, he like, man, listen, I need you to holler at him. It just so happened that when I'm talking to him, I understand, because I'm talking to a couple of them on the side, and I understand that nothing is more important in the ghetto than revenge. Revenge is king.
Yes.
Closest thing to God. Because the black man is willing to die about his ego. The ego killed more black men than any other disease. Nothing killed black men more than the ego. That ego of, you hit me, Shannon, people saw it, I can't let you go. You got to die about this shit. And my mama raised me, so I grew up soft. I ain't had no structure of no father there, so I'm just emotional. So when I'm in there, I'm telling them, it was emotional for me because I'm letting them know, the man that killed my brother, I forgave him. Am I a coward? Am I a punk? Well, I don't know what that shit means. But I knew that forgiving him mean that I was willing to live for my brother in an environment where we celebrate dying for somebody. I said, no, I'm going to live for my brother, my grandma, my brother, kids, my mama. I'm going to live for them because don't nobody talk about that. But I know that, I'm going to just be straight up. I know that I'm not built to die right now because I know it's more things that I got to do, and I know I got a responsibility. That was my older brother. You think what I'm saying? So it's like, I got to step up. I got to be a man.
Some words of
so
wisdom, but
as
wallow.
a man would think, not as a street would think, that would die about his ego and leave his babies, leave his mama, tear down the community about the ego. My ego wasn't built like that. I wasn't that strong to have that type of ego. I wasn't cut like that.
Dirk said, this mofo really dropping tears for this issue. Do you feel like he heard what you were saying? Do you feel like the guy, not only did they listen, because a lot of times people listen to respond, but did they listen to understand what you were saying?
I hollered at a lot of them afterwards. Someone would call me. It's not about them listening, it's about conditioning. It's about environmental. You can listen to everything that I say, but a lot of time, as I'm still growing, I don't have the resources to remove you from the danger that you're up against every day. A lot of things these young plovers, they do here, they smart. A lot of them are smart. But their environment don't allow them to grow because I can't move out of this environment right here. And I know them dudes down them block, they want to kill me. I got to protect myself. I want to kill. So it's deep. We tell these kids a lot of things. And all we do is criticize young black male every way possible. We criticize them as much as possible, but we don't bring no resources. You know how many people make money off of just criticizing us and talking down on not just us, it's black people. But they don't got no, okay, you criticizing us. You got all these gigantic platforms. What we doing is cool, Shannon, but they got huge media platforms where they just want to tear the people down in the black community, but they ain't coming up with no solution and they ain't bringing no funding. So I could tell these young brothers this, that, and the third, but they still got to take care of their baby, and they got to figure out the only way that they know. And in order to really take somebody to another level, you got to have time, energy, and resources to deprogram them so you can reprogram them. The programming was hit. The dehumanization of black people by black people was strong. This is some shit that we done. It started from when a little boy is young, and he playing on the swing, and he fall, he start crying. Boy, be tough, don't cry. We're taught to ignore and bury our emotions and our feelings and our vulnerability. That's not cool, that's not tough. So all that stuff right there is a real big programming that took place by us alone. So how do we come up out of that? It's gonna be deep, it's gonna take a lot.
How does one outgrow the environmental aspects, the constraints in which he or she is brought up in, if they're not removed from that environment? Because the fish is only gonna get so big if the tank is not conducive for it to grow. A tree is on.
Nice. What's the best fast food restaurant?
The victim walking out to her car. Watch as the suspect vehicle drives up. The suspect then approaching the victim. That suspect armed with a handgun. There's a fight over her purse, then a fight over the weapon. The victim doing everything she can to get away, then trying to run toward the restaurant. That's when the suspect, identified as Gerardo Llamas, opens fire, killing her.
Later on during the investigation, we located this SUV, being the suspect SUV, abandoned on the east side of town. In that vehicle, there was evidence.
These criminals targeted this victim in a murder-for-hire scheme that was stemming from a contentious divorce from one of the suspects.
Rest up, rest up.
people were saying I Am Legend too. Is that a thing?
Yeah, no, that's a real thing.
Wait, really?
Yeah. So
Well, I thought
me
you were
and Michael B. Jordan, we sat down for about a week, just went through character stuff, and Akiva Goldsman is the writer, so he's putting it together. So no, that's a real thing.
Wow.
I love to work with that dude. Like he really gets it. I work with a lot of young actors and young performers, and it's like there's a difference between actors and movie stars.
Okay.
Right? So actors can come in and do their part well. A great actor can come in and do their great.
Kanye Z. Kanye Z.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is the emergency broadcast system. If you are hearing this message, we are alerting you that we now know these metallic ships are alien.
People dying all over the world. And they like to hunt their prey. And God bless America.
$50. 50 cents. Drewski. So Drewski was on the Jennifer Hudson show. Let's have a look at how that went. Drewski. When did he get tattoos on his knees? That's crazy. Drewski. Drewski. Oh, Drewski. That is hilarious. Drewski.
What are you doing? What are you?
Okay, the Wi-Fi is acting up. So let me just end it here. This is the Two Flick Show. Thank you all for watching. Like, follow, share, subscribe, comment. This is the Two Flick Show. Have a great day and year. And yeah, 2025 is great. It's gonna get better, and we're doing great things. We're gonna keep pushing. Motivation. Keep pushing. It's Two Flick Show. Like, follow,
One thing I do
subscribe,
appreciate
share.
about you, Drewski, is
And yeah, I'm just gonna try and be better, do better. Two Flick Show. I'm out.